Alright, hello and welcome to a returning again ranked ramble. I'm apologising that these have been infrequent, but I removed myself from a situation recently because, well, I'm sure everyone knows, anyone who's got the foresight to watch this, wow, what has been going on in the world of Magic. So, I'll just say it straight up, I'm not going to add anything to the Commander situation. I think that bans were justified. I think everyone who was doxing and things was a complete swear word and should not be in this community. And I hold the rules committee, nothing against the rules committee, for literally having to experience that and go, sod this, Wizards, it's yours now. So we've got some 1.5 speed gameplay going on here. In this video we're going to go up against a Esper tempo list, a mono black demons, and a fog turbo mill, which, yeah, it was a crazy time on the ranked ladder these past few days. But we're concluding the Commander hoo-ha aside. The main topic I want to talk about in this list is the disrespect of Pioneer. Now, primarily, I'm going to 100% straight it up. I don't have anything inside Wizards, I don't know anything of Wizards. But there's something that I need to address here, and for those who don't know, the pro schedule for next year was announced, and it's basically Modern Standard. So, no Pioneer. So if we want competitive Pioneer like the RC 2000 player tournament we just saw, which was hailed by many in the community as a really good tournament, a really diverse thing, we're not going to get that. And honestly, that makes me really mad. I've had plenty of complaints about Pioneer and its management, but one thing I will say in defense of Pioneer that I've always asserted and loved is it feels like old school Modern. And what I mean by old school Modern is it feels like the format where every time we have a massive tournament, someone brings something, or something, that was fringe is suddenly made great. Like the current tournament we had, Tree of Perdition Rakdos Sacrifice combo. That was like an against the odds kind of fun brew deck, and someone took it to, that's a ringing endorsement of a good format where there's enough diversity that we can do these crazy strategies. Now obviously I have issues, I've talked many times about some of the issues I have with the format, but I feel that it's really disappointing, and honestly I don't get why they're throwing Modern in. I mean, financially I get it. They're printing the Final Fantasy or whatever it is set soon, and they want to... Is it Final Fantasy? I can't remember. Straight to Modern set again. So they want to promote, hey everyone, you need to buy Modern cards. Yeah, I get that financially, blah blah blah, but honestly, I'm not feeling it, and I mean this in the nicest respect to anyone who still loves Modern. Modern, it feels like trash now. It's Modern Horizons block constructed. I've said before, the legacy of the Modern Horizons sets is Modern Horizons 1 was ironically perfect. It had a couple of stupid cards that had to be banned, but a lot of the stuff that was made supported existing formats. Fop to Sword was an existing deck and it became Wurza. Yawgmoth became like the Aristocrat Sacrifice combo deck. There was diversity and fun in it. Then Modern Horizons 2 came around and it blew everything out because you had to play the Evoke Elementals, which ironically are now getting banned. But yeah, this I won't fully rant into. I know it's called Ranked Ramble, but I won't fully ramble into a full-blown breakdown of why I'm getting mad at Modern being the thing. This, though, to me, really upset me because I was like, we only needed one. like Spider-Man, everyone gets one. We just needed one. We weren't asking to become the premier new tournament, all our Pioneer players. And I know a lot of Pioneer players that I've talked to that are really frustrated with this, because this isn't the first time that this format has been extremely disrespected. Now, for those who know the full history of Pioneer, I'm going to go on a bit of a rant here. Pioneer's first introduction was an experimentation that was really well received. Basically, they went with a rapid, we're going to ban every week everything that's a problem, use online data to monitor the meta and remove all the unhealthy stuff immediately, instead of doing what Modern originally did, which was, let's just, everything that was a problem in Standard, blah, it's now banned. They took it and it had a good start. It was, some people now look at that as controversial, but when they were first setting up the format and they were using it primarily from online data, people knew that was going to happen. People didn't invest into the paper side yet because it was still in its developmental infancy stage. And yes, it was fun and really interesting to see how it developed out. Then they cut off the legs of that at the worst possible time. For those who don't know, they cut it off at the release of Pharos Beyond Death, which brought Vass's Oracle, which made Inverter combo, which then made Heliod Ballista combo, and turned it into a combo winter, and then did not take action for way too damn long. Also, there was the world crisis with the pandemic and stuff. But that ultimately was what I like to think the first disrespect of Pioneer. The second was back in 2020. We were promised that the format on the screen now, Explorer, would be moved to Tournament Pioneer. We were promised Pioneer Masters. For those who don't know what Master sets are, they're basically huge reprints. Now, apparently that's still happening. Apparently during one of the recent quizzes, weekly streams, someone was like, I can say that I worked on Pioneer Masters. Cool, well, you promised it us before the end of 2024, and as of the day I'm recording this, it is the 24th of October. You are also releasing Foundations, Yeah, there's been a lot of disrespect towards Pioneer, and I'll say that. So we've had the bad setup, abandonment during the pandemic. We had the delaying of Masters to get Explorer to Pioneer. We had the, hey, let's print the entirety of Lord of the Rings and Modern Horizons free, including all the Modern Horizons free commanders, into our digital format where they're only playable in two of our formats but not one of our main competitive things. We'll put all them in, which made me mad to say the least, because I did not want Modern Horizons free. I'm happy it's on here for the people that want it, but it was not required. It shouldn't have been a priority. And finally, the one that is a personal grievance to me is the remasters. So for those of you who don't know, the remasters were, they went back 2 sets, and originally it was like, we'll re-release the set, and then it was like, we'll re-release the set with a few things missing. Then it was, we'll re-release the set, but we'll also include mythic reprints of original sets that were modern staples for Timeless, which is a joke format that nobody really wants to play. And for anyone who does play Timeless, I'm happy for you, but it is not a format people want to get into, because it's basically whatever special guest mythic things we have to craft next to play. Nobody is enjoying that. So we were having resets, remaster sets, and we were going back, and it was like, okay, this is cool. We're working through the past sets, so we went back to Amonkhet, we went back to Kaladesh, and I was really excited because this one was a personal one against me, because it got to Kaladesh. Prior to Kaladesh is the O for the Gatewatch Battle for Zendikar, most notably for Bring to Light, which would make Niv to Light a full deck on Pioneer. It's literally the linchpin of the deck. It's the one thing we've been missing. It hasn't been in any historic remasters, whatever. What the swear word is going on, people? Sorry. Very aggressive on this point, because this one is a point that personally really teased me off. And then we skipped those sets and went back to Khans of Tarkir. Do you know why we went back to Khans of Tarkir? Because Wizards wanted to put the fetch lands in Timeless. That's the only damn reason. And I know people go, there's not much reprint value in Battle for Zendikar over the Gatewatch. Do you think there was any in Khans? Apart from your fetch lands? For the purposes of Arena and Pioneer, nothing from that set sees real play. Now, competitive top level play, or even tiered play. Like, there is a lot that has frustrated me in regards to this. The other reason I will say that I'm very passionate about it is my favorite casual tribe in Magic is Allies. And we've got more damn sliver support on Arena than we have the Ally. Like, I was excited when the remaster started to shift, because I was like, oh, that's so cool, we'll go back to Zendikar and they'll give us like the original Eldrazi, which will suck for Brawl, I know. But then they'll give us, the old school Allies and the new Allies, and then we can make an Ally deck. Oh, it'd be so much fun to play Allies again, even casually. But alas, no. We need to put the fetch lands for the timeless people that want to play. Do you have a free counterspell to stop a show and tell on turn 2? No, then you've lost the game. They're apparently more important than your future competitive format that you seem to want to abandon. Yes, that is some very strong words, but that is literally how it's felt playing Pioneer recently. I was listening to the Crew Free podcast, as I always listen to, and after this announcement, they literally, half of them were not done. And I record this as a tribute to that, because one of the things they made a good point of is the format's not dead, but we as the players have to basically keep it alive. And yeah, I could play it on MTG Moto, and I've played a few on Moto, but Moto Arena is such a more fun, easier experience. Why, Wizards? Why can't you just do this? Now, I know that I'm ranting at the sun, like, I just want Bring to Light, which is true. I will hold my hands up and say, Wizards, if they literally just announced, hey, Bring to Light is a special guest in Foundations, I would literally throw my hands in the air and go, hallelujah, and we'd be all done. But alas, it's not going to be. So, this little rant over to clear the air. This is going to be my return to the format mess around. I'm going to do weekly returns to ranked gameplay. I'm going to select the games, because there's been some interesting choices, and we'll have a topic I'll discuss about early on. And then we'll go into talking about what's going on the screen. So with that thing, we'll cut now to the gameplay. So this version is the 80 card Yorion Niv to Light deck. Deck list will be below. But the big thing here is it's the use of the new room split card Sauna Room. Now, I personally love this card. I made a short on it speaking about it. For those who don't know, it's red and 1 to unlock a room that does damage to a creature equal to the number of cards in your hand, and then 5 mana to get no maximum hand size. In the beginning of your end step, draw a card. That is huge, okay? That is the Monarch. And anyone who doesn't know, the Monarch is so damn powerful. Like in the current board state here, you can see we have 2 Monarchs active, so we're drawing 3 cards a turn. Our opponent is clinging for life here. This is where I learnt that Rafine is a demon for the Unholy Annex, which is pretty sick. So, they're on 6 life. I decide I can end it with a double Helix. They know about the Helix, so I'm expecting there is a counterspell. So, I let this resolve, and I think to myself, what's the best option here? Now, I'm pretty sure that I can't kill them from here, so what I'm going to do is, I'm going to take out the Rafine and this, because I don't know if you saw in the oh no, this is still the first game. Yeah, but the power of that Rafine with the Connive to just constantly look for the next thing is absolutely insane. So, oh yeah, this is the second game, sorry. Right, Sheoldred comes down. They're putting counters on the demon, so they now are gaining double life. They're back to 10. Like, they are clinging. So first things first, that's a Vanishing Verse, the Sheoldred, so we don't lose any life. We gain off the Ancient Cornucopia. Such a good card. We can use Landline Binding here to get rid of the token. They've displayed to me that they have Vanishing Verse, so I am going to use it like that. We're going to get in with the Spire and Scry. And I think here I decide to kill the Wandering Emperor just to keep them down on resources. Without a demon, the Unholy Annex will do 2 damage to them on their end steps. They're basically using a room like we are as like a Monarch effect. Like you see here, they draw and lose 2 life, so we'll just keep cycling, try to find some answers. We are pretty light on finding Niv here. I am choosing not to attack. I am 90% sure they'll probably have push or removal for the manland. So I want to keep my options open, make them commit to stuff beforehand. I let this Legislator Shredder come down. They go for a Teferi, which is interesting. So, with the Connive on the stack, we'll use Tyrant Scorn to kill it, gain life. That's another thing here. I am full committed to Ancient Cornucopia right now. We are in an aggro meta, put it that way, with Rakdos turbo kill, so anything that can pad our life total is totally worth it. They go for the draw here with Teferi, so I'm gonna shoot them here with the Helix as a counter check. Now suspecting veto or yes, no more lies, so we'll pay for the no more lies. That puts him down to 3, Growth Spiral on our turn. We will play a land untapped. On their turn, end step, we'll cycle the land. We're just digging to find stuff here. Invasion of Tolvad is really good. Now, with the Unholy Annex trigger in the end step, they're going to go down to 1. So if we can sneak the manland in here, we probably have it. So, plan is pretty simple. We're going to, on there, Niv draw is perfect. So first things first, we gotta fin the deck because mathematically that matters. We will then Molten Collapse to the Teferi here as a counter check. Also uses to gain life. They do have a no more lies here. They're trying to save their Teferi. Now this is the point where we've got to go for it because we've got enough here that we can activate the rest of Spire and play Niv Mizzet. So we go in for the attack. If they have the push, we lose. Helix on top, we've got this locked up and we take the game. That was a really fun exchange. I know I talked about the meta of Pioneer being disrespected for half of it, but I hope you enjoyed that match. Right, Mr. Telescope here. This match, this game is wow. So initially I see a blue white land and I'm like, oh no, this is control, I'm going to be here for days. Then they pick Lock Prankster and start milling, so I'm like, oh, it's banned? Is this like a weird combo deck that I don't know about? Then they play a Teferi's Tutelage, so first things first, vanishing versus that. I think to myself, is this Turbo Fog Mill? And it did indeed turn out to be. So I'm getting Clothis down because she is like a hard thing for this deck to deal with. They get a Jace revealed, which has me scared that they're going to plot something huge. They don't though. So we'll just start using Clothis to drain. I'm going to play another land here and get the Ancient Cornucopia down. Again, this card has been the all-star of this deck. Again, they're milling and looting and drawing. And I'm just like, what is this deck? And then I see a bit of a control package, so I'm wondering if they're waiting for me. Maybe they're going to ultimate the Jace. Is that their plan? They march to get rid of our Clothis, which is really sad for us. Last though, we need to cycle land. Hope we can find something. Find a Helix. I'm gonna kill the Jace here. This is just purely out of fear. There's so many random blue spells now that proliferate that I'm just like, if they have a proliferation and the ultimate is their end goal, I should make it harder for them to do. Alright. Discard a tri-land. Let's get this Wandering Mind down and keep padding our life total. We find the Leyline Binding. Sphinx's Revelation. With them tapped out, I'm going to Leyline Binding and get rid of the Jace. Man, I have not had a Sphinx's Revelation played against me for a long time. Very nostalgic. This is me still looking through their graveyard going, what the heck is happening? We'll grab Yorion here. We can blink the Wandering Mind if we need to get more out of it. They throw a Picklock Prankster down as a blocker. We can Tyrant Scorn that. Gain 2 more life for casting on the opponent's turn. Well, we're getting more land, so let's get in for 2. And we throw down the Yorion. Again gaining life. Man, I love the Ancient Cornucopia. I should have tapped the Cornucopia there for casting the Yorion. That's on me. They Faithful Mending, so I'm looking at their graveyard here. What are they doing? What is happening? And then I see the Haze of Pollen. And I'm like, this is a Turbo Fog Mill deck. So I'm taking this Abrupt Decay to kill the Teferi's Tutelage they're inevitably going to play again. So I'm standing here thinking, there's got to be some synergy to this, because all their cards are also discarding. So I'm thinking, how are they doing that? What I mean is, instead of just running regular draw spells, like, blue X draw cards, a lot of their spells have been draw discard. So I'm thinking to myself, there's got to be some graveyard mass spell reanimation stuff they're doing here. Roaring Furnace shows why it's so good. One of the things as well, which I was trying to explain to a friend of mine, is it's so good because, let's say I didn't have any cards in hand, I could throw down the Steaming Sauna, and which I do here, and then use it to just buy time and stock up the hand. Alright, we've been fogged. Let's attack again. They're down to 12. We'll draw a card here. The Faithful Mending. Like I said, more draw and discard. 2 lands discarded. They're nearly 2/3 of the way through their deck, so I'm pretty sure they have what they're looking for. I also felt bad for them because naturally, since we're a Yorion deck, we're 80 cards instead of 60, so it's much harder to mill out. But here's Dance of the Manse for free, which is crazy. So they get 2 Teferi's Tutelage and the Founding of the Third Path. So they can exile this in a sorcery card here and copy it. So I got to see what they're going to copy. They are choosing to copy the Faithful Mending. So for those of you who don't know, if this goes off, they will draw 2, 4, 5, 6 cards and mill us for like 25, 30 cards. Like, that was their combo play. So they are a Dance of the Manse Turbo Fog deck. Seeing that they have Graveyard Interaction, we just immediately slam in the ley lines, take on the Mystic Disputes, Unmoored Egos, and I'm just sitting here going, what do I get rid of? I'll take Tyrant Scorns because I didn't see any creatures. Same with taking out the Clarions and the Verdicts. I'm tempted to take out Yishan here. And then I'm naturally working off the assumption here that what else to cut to get it down to 80. Now, Leyline Bindings are an essential. I'm considering a Niv for the higher end because the thing with our deck versus a Turbo Fog deck, we take out the Molten Collapse, is if all our threats are 5 or 6 drops and we're letting them have turns finding stuff, eventually they're just going to have a handful of fogs and we won't be able to get enough damage through. So we need a lower curve. But thankfully, yeah, we go for our thing here. I mulligan, and this hand is beyond perfect. We'll get rid of the Abrupt Decay because we don't have black, but we throw down a Leyline of the Void here. As I said before, since all their draw effects were draw discard, that makes this insanely good. So we'll just pass here, see what they do on their turn. On 3, they slam down a Jace, the Perfected Mind. And they go for a -2 to mill us free and then get them to draw a card. We'll Leyline Binding that Jace just so it's gone. There's our third Leyline. Wow. Well, with that in mind, we could just play a tap land since we have no other plays. They play Founding of the Third Path. They can cast a spell out of their hand for free. Faithful Mending. So this is draw 2, exile 2 cards, which makes it significantly worse. Haze of Pollen and ooh. So we go for Growth Spiral here, so we can set up now for a Niv. Problem is though, we've seen that they have. There was our 4th Leyline. Wow, I didn't realize that when I played the game. All right, there's a Teferi's Tutelage. So we get milled 2 for them drawing. Playland tapped. We're gonna run down a Niv here because there's no 1-mana counterspell I know of. We hit really bad off that Niv, only finding the Helix and the Clophis. They have a second Tutelage, which is going to put us in a bad spot here. We're going to mill 4. Plays a land. We're going to drop down the Edgar here, because he's literally our boy that's too angry to die. So we have lethal here in 2 turns if they don't have fog effects. They use Pickpocket Prankster to mill, and the fact that this still works. And I don't know if you saw it there, but they had the Unearth, Attack, mill half an opponent's library card, which is really sick with their deck. However, way too heavily centric on the graveyard here. Yeah, there it is. Right, the double Helix makes this really easy. So we'll go into the attack. Now, I'm assuming they have a way to deal with Niv or Edgar. And we have the mana here to go for a double Helix to do stuff. So, they are marching Otherworldly Light, so we'll just immediately double Helix them. Not to BM or anything, and they'll die. Just to show them that unless they could have killed both of them, they were dead. Pretty good showing there. Leyline has come back into the sideboard full effect after the return of the Rakdos tree because god damn, that deck is scary. And we have a final match coming up. Eventually. There we go. Don't know why I left that front cut in there. I just wanted to highlight this because it's one of the most interesting ones and a good chance to show off the Roaring Furnace. This was a, I believe, mono black demon deck. So we get Duress. I believe while I was playing this, I was having a massive rant about the absurd amount of mono black hand disruption in the format. Our opponent is taking their sweet time considering. So we'll just hold up and see what they go for. Archfiend's Vessel. And another Archfiend's Vessel. So I'm going to Banishing versus one of them. I think that was overly aggressive, but I, at the time, thought this was like the turbo Archfiend deck, where you can basically turbo out a huge demon early in the game. So I'm going to use the Ancient Cornucopia here to gain life. And then we'll draw with the One Remind. We get a bit of Triumphed. I'm going to choose the Leyline Binding here. And I'll Leyline Binding immediately. It's an attrition race here, so if we can get good with a draw we might have. And there's the Unholy Annex again. They're very interesting cards. So they draw and lose 2 life. We'll put our Yorion into hand here. Great thing about the Unholy Annex's token, so they play the Mutavault. So this is a really fun thing. They are going to activate the Mutavault in their end step. Ooh, the Unstoppable Killer. Use the Mutavault to act as a demon. So in response, I'm going to destroy that with the Helix, gaining 2 life. For those who don't know, the Unstoppable Slasher is an insane card. So when it hits someone, they lose half their life, which is a really insane way to deal with things. So I'm gonna Growth Spiral here, gain more life. You don't find anything, but I am gonna use this Leyline Binding to get rid of the Unstoppable Slasher, I think. Oh no, I take out the Annex. That's interesting. Why did I take out the Annex? I suppose my thought was that they were gonna just keep drawing cards. And of course they top deck a Fortsies. So we have to now kill the Unstoppable Slasher. Trying to take out one of our lands, but as I've said many times, run all your basics. Right, they're down to 1 card as well. So we just need a good top deck draw. Well, what we'll do here, we'll kill the Slasher, because if you kill it with counters on, it doesn't come back at all. Thank heavens. And we are on 29 life against a 1/1 lifelinker, which seems like pretty good stats for us. Plus, we have the Cornucopia, and we just top decked our boy. I need to go back and put in the reload sounds whenever I cast an Niv-Mizzet. Or I need to like press a button here to reload for fun. I think I'll do that. Yeah, so we got lucky there firing out the Niv. So I have no idea against this Demons deck. This was my first time playing it. I kind of just like the way the deck is. So we just run it back and pray. This opening hand is terrible with the mulligan, and with the mulligan again, so we're down to 5 here. So, oh, I remember this. So I basically do this and say to myself, if we get double forward seized, I think we just concede. Yep, we're just gonna leave it. A perfect 7 hand. So in my defense, this game came at the end of a session of nothing but black decks, and the amount of times I was getting double Fortsies was just destroying me, to the point where literally here I keep a hand that probably is really dodgy in hindsight, purely because I'm just expecting a turn 1 Fortsies. Yeah, because there it is. I'm pretty sure at this point I was just laughing about, how to play, you want to play mono black in Pioneer or black based decks in Pioneer? Here's rule number 1. If you don't have a turn 1 Fortsies, you've lost the game. So I resolve here to get Clofis down because there's no exile enchantment removal in black. But they get enchantment removal now because, they don't want commander players to get wah, because, we've seen in the past few weeks what happens when commander players get big sad. Alright, we'll just pass it back. End step, we're going to kill the Archfiend and then we'll use Clofis to exile it. The reason I'm waiting to the end step is they could potentially have some kind of saving grace effect, like return it to the battlefield and then they could trigger it to get a 5/5 demon. What I'm going to do here is just get a Wandering Mind. They're going to force us with an Edict to immediately sack it. Take the Leyline Binding. Maybe I should have took the Vanishing Burst there, but that's fine. We'll keep exiling here. They're down to 14. They're also mana screwed, so they've been having a bit of an issue there. I don't know if maybe after the second game they kept... Ooh, Ashiok, I forgot they played this. Yeah, Ashiok's a very interesting card. So it mills and exiles a graveyard. So in response we'll just Leyline Binding and get rid of Ashiok. In the end step we'll Growth Spiral. Another good card. We've got to exile one of our own here because Clofis is not a May. So with that in mind, we can go back, see what they do on their turn. They go for Withering Torment, forgetting that Clofis is indestructible, so they pay 2 life to do nothing essentially, and I think that's the final act of this game. We, I think, just grind an advantage from here that's just too much to get out of it. So basically, we have a Clofis and a board presence, so I think they're going to struggle to come back from it. We'll let this one run its course, but thank you for watching. We'll be coming back to ranked rambles more frequently, I promise. Moving forward, do hope everyone rolls on. Instead, I just want to watch the end of this game. But yes, I believe now we will exile another land here. They go down to 8. We attack with Yorion. And it will be the end of it all. So thanks for watching. Ranked Rambles will be back. Let me know what you think about the future of Pioneer and how it looks.